stop buying gear now. Just like I need to stop buying these stupid kind of glasses. Anyway, is that what I'm really telling you? Am I telling you to stop buying gear? Yeah, I am. Hey, Barry, aren't you a little hypocrite back there? Don't you have a lot of crap back there? Yeah, I do. That's why this message is not for everybody. It's just not for everybody. But it's for a lot of people. Maybe even sadly, most of you, considering how many people are doing this at different degrees of skill set. There are too many people that want to believe, and I have to imagine based upon all of the discussions they read in various forums for audio out there, that can really motivate you to want to go out and buy this gear and this gear because it sounds so wonderful. All these other users describing it and making it sound like it's just amazing. And you know what? It very well may be, but they may know how to truly assess that. But let's set that aside for the second. The problem we've got here is that too many people, especially in the beginning to intermediate stages of their journey, seem to think that that next piece of gear is going to make the difference. It's not. My recommendation to you is just stop buying gear and really stop and really analyze your situation. Because here's just the basic, I'm just going to cut to it, guys. If you can't create a great sounding song, okay? If you can't do that on a budget interface, you're never going to be able to do that on the most expensive interface on the freaking planet. You're just not. So you need to learn to use the tools that you have. Master those tools. Focus on your skill set. Forget gear. No single piece of gear at this stage of your journey is going to make a difference. Honestly, at that stage, you're probably not even going to know what to listen for to even appreciate whether it is making it better or is it just making it different. Could you have made it different in the box? Obviously, I'm a fan of gear, okay? Obviously, I think it makes a difference, but how much of a difference? Well, that's going to vary from piece to piece to piece. Some pieces of gear will be like, wow, hey man, that's really cool. I'm digging that. Some pieces can you hear that subtlety to it? Can you hear that nuance, that transient peeking through, the depth, the clarity, the open airness to it? But how big is it? Is that gap like this big? Or is it like this big? Well, it's probably more like that big for most, not all. Many of you are going to go into the comments and say, I bought a piece of gear and it transformed my life. Well, in your life, maybe it did transform it. For those of you who've probably been doing it a while, who've already been using that type of gear, we would say, that's not so transformative, buddy. It's not as good as you think, or I'm not going to say it's not as good as you think, because it probably is a good piece of gear. But it's not making the difference you think it's making because you don't know how to appreciate it, okay? So focus on your skills. Those are the most important tools that you will ever be given. You and you alone. Develop your skills, work through them. Make sure that you're getting the very best that you possibly can. If you're not impressing people with your recordings on a budget interface, yes, I'm talking about a $200-$300 interface. If you can't do that, then you're probably the problem. Now, of course, there are some compatibility issues and things like that and drivers that make it frustrating. And if you happen to have that type of interface, yes, maybe changing an interface to a comparable interface in price that has a better reputation, but shame on you for not doing your due diligence when you purchased it. All right. I strongly suggest that everybody do their homework on every piece of gear and get every available perspective they can on it. There's so much information out there in various forums and various threads and various reviews. And for the most part, most YouTube reviews are going to be biased. Not all of them, but most of them are. So understand that so you're not suckered out there, okay? But you need to really focus on these skills. I can't drive that home enough. And then once you've got those skills, once you've mastered the art of gain staging, once you've mastered the art of miking techniques, once you've mastered the art of finding the certain frequencies that each particular instrument are going to sit in a mix and be able to hear them all and not sound like a bunch of mud, If you're just adjusting faders and a basic EQ, you're probably not going to get the recording you desire. So no piece of gear is going to make a difference. Are there pieces of gear that'll make it sound better? Is that a word? Sound better? Yes, there are what you have, but you're just polishing a turd. You're putting lipstick on a pig, you know what I'm saying? And so I can't drive this message home enough. Look, there are many of us out there, and I'm one of them who absolutely love gear. It's a good investment if you buy the right gear. You'll get so much more money out of it later on, and you'll get a lot of joy in using it, but I'm realistic about what it's doing for me. I can create amazing recordings 100% in the box, no problem. No problem at all. At various stages of my journey, I've done exactly that. So I know I can do that. But I do enjoy working with gear. And let's face it, it's cool. I mean, this all back here, it looks really cool. But you've got to learn to understand the differences. And until you do that, forget about this journey of gear. And unless something is just physically not working for you, again, compatibility issues, things like that, if it just simply doesn't work, then yes, you need to address that. But you need to try to fix that first. Look. At the end, here, look, this is just the way it is. You're going to have to get into the technical aspect of this if you're going to record. If you're a younger person, that's no problem. You're going to jump right into it. Me, I've been a techie guy since the day it all got invented, okay? Yes, I'm an old fart, and I've lived through it all, and I've appreciated every bit of it, and I've embraced every bit of it and continue to do so. But there's a lot of people who are not like that. And if you think you're going to get into this without having to learn these things, I'm sorry, it's just not going to work. Go buy yourself a used ADAT somewhere and an old Mackie board and get to record and have a good time, or buy yourself something else. I don't know. But if you want to dive deep into this, then you're going to have to learn how to do these things. Because half the time that I find that somebody's having technical issues, it has nothing to do with the gear, nothing to do with the drivers. It's just simply the user doesn't understand how these things work. And so this is important. I helped a guy the other day who had emailed me some problems that he had, and I helped him work through it. And I quickly realized, man, I hate to say it, but he really doesn't have a clue how any of this works. He's blaming the gear when he was the problem. And I'm sorry if you're watching this, but I did tell you that. So I'm not being a jerk here. I'm not mentioning your name. So it is the case. And I think other people need to learn from what I explained to you. And when I say you, I mean that particular man. So don't be the cog in the wheel. Make sure you know how to do those things. Make sure you know how to do all of this before you take that leap of faith jump into starting to spend more on gear. And when you buy gear, really think about that gear. If you just buy cheap gear, whether it's a cheap compressor or a cheap microphone or cheap this or cheap that, you're probably going to flush your money down the drain. It's better to be patient and wait and get at least an upper mid-grade. I'm not suggesting you go all the way because I don't think there's much value in that anymore. For most people, for some, yes, but for most, I think there's plenty of great clone manufacturers out there that can get you to the next level. Not, frankly, to the highest level, but to the next level. And so you need to consider all these things. But this is part of the journey. This is part of the whole process. And don't put the cart before the horse, right? Gosh, you can tell I'm old. Most of you kids out there don't even know what I mean when I say cart and horse unless you've been watching Yellowstone or something like that. But anyway, I digress. But you know what I'm saying, right? Do first things first. Let's put it like that. First things first. Learn your skills, learn everything you need to do, and then consider buying beer. Okay, you can buy beer, but I'm saying buy gear. You know, it's 5 o'clock in the morning here right now, and I make most of my videos at 5 o'clock in the morning. Do some of you guys ever wonder, man, is this guy just sitting there getting out of bed and putting on a shirt and, kind of talking to us with his pajamas on or something like that? Nah, I would never do that. Oh, wait a minute, my camera's out of focus. Let me address that. I would never do that. I just wouldn't do that. Man, I take this serious for you guys. I get ready, I get dressed, I get focused and everything. I would never do that. Or would I? Leave me some comments down below and tell me what you think. But chill out on the gear, okay? Chill out on the gear until you hone your skills. That's the best advice I can give all you people out there today. I don't care if you're 18 doing this. I don't care if you're 15 doing this. I don't care if you're 50 years old doing this. Figure it out. Learn your skills, and then, and only then, consider the next level. I mean, how many guitar players go out and buy a $5,000 guitar for a beginner? I can't get my linguistics, maybe because it's 5 o'clock in the morning. A beginner guitar. Boy, I'm in a very chipper mood this morning, aren't I? Whew, I'm all fired up. And I hope you are too. I appreciate all you people. Do me a favor. Like I said, leave me some comments down below. But until next time, have yourself a great day and go freaking learn something. Okay, bye. Get out. All right.